Hey everybody, I'm Katrina from In Cat We Trust, and there's another episode of Kicking Back with Cat podcast. Here I have with me the beautiful Taye, she's the creator of Black Girl Magik, which is an a woman of color, all women event for wrestling, which I think is super awesome. So first, how are you? How's everything?
Oh, it's going good. It's kind of stressful. This is a lot, but it happens.
So when I originally heard about this event from a friend of mine, Hearts from Chalker Champions. We're like used to co-host together. So she's a really good friend of mine, and she was like, "You should check this event out. You should try to interview." And I'm like, I'm always down for women of color just shining and doing all these awesome things. So just one, thank you so much for even bringing something like this out into the wrestling world. I think it's something we really need. Not saying that we don't have other women, but you know what I mean? Just like a event that's just dedicated to women of color doing their thing and shining. So where did you get what was the catalyst for the idea to be like, this is the event I want to do for 2021?
So basically I wanted to try, I was living in Michigan, and we, me and my partner and our 2-year-old son, he got a job in New York City. So I figured, I'm going to live in New York City. I'm going to make the best out of it, and I'm going to finally, try my hand at wrestling. So I started training, and my trainer, the person that owns the training school, he promotes. And so I wondered, what all comes about promoting. And I've always wanted to do something in wrestling. So it was just an idea like, hey, I've never seen this happen before. Is this a good idea? They told me it was a good idea. And now here we are.
Oh, nice. And would you say the process, I know you said it's a bit hard, but would you say in regards to like reaching out to talent, or for those who wanted to like promote, would you say that was a hard adjustment for you from just training wrestling to having to kind of run a whole event?
Yeah, it gets really, how do you put it? It's nerve-wracking, especially because I am terrible at talking to people. So, I'm lucky that I have the people at T2T Wrestling Academy. They made the process, easier for me. So, I can't thank them enough. They've helped out so much.
Nice. And one of the people who I always tell everybody that I don't think she gets enough flowers for what she's done in wrestling is Jazz. And I see that Jazz is on there, and that got me super excited because, she's mentioned a lot more now, but like when I was growing up watching wrestling, and, when you're a kid and you want to see those that kind of, look like you, and they're like super like badass, and they're like not the stereotypes they put, unfortunately, on like people of color that are wrestlers. So Jazz, I always felt like a lot of people didn't appreciate what she was doing when around I want to say junior high school for me. So how was that like? Because that got me really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, Jazz is amazing. It's like good to see her, doing events, but an event that I can actually get to. So oh my, that is amazing just to kind of, see her still out there, and that she seems very active still. So how was that for you, like reaching out to her?
Like I said, that came from working T2T. They helped, Tom helped get her, and I was shocked when she said, "Yeah, I'll do it," because I was like, "That's Jazz," like WWE. So that's just absolutely crazy. And for her to go against Trish Adora, who is a phenomenal person and great in the ring, and I really hope she gets signed soon. She's great. So it's like, it's great.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty awesome that you have somebody helping you like get everything as far as your footing. Because I'm kind of the same way. And you would think like I do a podcast, and I'm like, no, I actually don't like talking to people. Like this is my way of getting out of my shell. So I get
Yeah.
really nervous and stuff. So I totally understand. Totally understand. Do you see yourself outside of promoting events, like ever actually stepping in a ring and wrestling?
I am just gonna leave everything open, if someone asks, I would definitely. I took a pause from training to deal with the show for a minute, and after that's over, then I'm gonna come back, and I would love to, wrestle, because I feel like, when I grew up, I was always a taller, bigger, colored girl, so I never really got to see that, and so now, watching, watching wrestling, so now there's like different kinds altogether. I, would love, the opportunity to.
Nice, nice. Would you say, I usually ask this question for, fellow Black women. Would you say that, again, we didn't always have the best representation of like women wrestlers on screen, but especially like really dope Black women, just like, again, not stereotypical. Cause I sometimes used to hate when you see the Black woman and it's just so like stereotypical. You're like, can we not have everybody in the one box, let them all be great, but not put them like their gimmicks in this one box? And I'm glad like now, at least with indie wrestling, we get to have more options of seeing, women being who they are and still like doing their thing in a ring. Would you say that, we're at a better place with Black women in wrestling, or do you think we still have like a lot of work that needs to be done?
I mean, off the heels of having the first ever like singles main event match at WrestleMania, being with two Black women, I do think there's a lot more work. I would like to see more women being involved in, it shouldn't have to be a spectacle, it should just be the norm, so with this, I hope, especially with some of the girls that I booked for the show, they're great. They should be used everywhere, and I hope that, I can bring eyes these girls a little bit more, and I hope that they all get signed, and I hope they all do wonderful things in the wrestling world. And, even when it comes to just anyone in general, I hope that people don't just use them to fill that quota in their wrestling show. Like, oh, we need that one colored girl, or that, oh, that was bad to say, but or that one big girl. I hope that it's integrated in just the norm. That's just a great women's wrestler or wrestler in general that we can just throw on the show.
Could you see yourself doing an event after this that's still geared like around this, or just some kind of other event that still can showcase women of color?
So my idea was, with Unapologetic Pro, was I just want people to be unapologetically them. So I would love to do another show. I would like to do showcases, short to the point shows that have, a great, like, 5-match show that, you could come. It's great. There's never like any like, oh, this is dragging on, and I would love them to be showcases of different things that, that everyone is. I would love to do, I just have so many ideas that like, spewing them off, but this is the first one, and I feel like this one is very special to me because it's one of these things that I can't change for myself, and it's one of these things that's always been kind of like an obstacle for me. That shouldn't be an obstacle. This should just be, I'm me. I can't change me, the color of me, and so that's why this one's kind of really special, especially with some things that are going on in my life right now.
I love that the title of the event is Black Girl Magic, because I always tell, like, when the term was first coined and, you know, people felt the way about it, but I'm like, we are magical, and it's not even like a shot at anybody else. It's just like we do so many different things and we're responsible for so many different things, even if it's like a style that's around for a bit, or like even with the way we might wear our hair for a bit, or, you know, just the little things that, you know, people take for granted and then, you know, kind of run with it, and then it's popular all of a sudden because a Black woman's not doing it. So I always love the term Black Girl Magic, because I do believe we are like magical beings and we do such awesome things. And to see, you know, it now representing in a wrestling where it's just solely that, just like Black women wrestlers being magical and being awesome and being amazing. And I just think that was like the perfect name for an event that's what they're showcasing. And like I said, I love Trisha Dora as well. I think she's a phenomenal wrestler. I would love to meet her one day and just be like, I'm always grateful for seeing what like Black women, but it's like, you know, I see something that's like you're shining in wrestling, I'm always just like, thank you for allowing me to see that, because again, I didn't have a lot of that growing up watching wrestling as a big wrestling fan. You know, there was Black women, but it was not enough. It was not enough at all. And it wasn't enough where you're seeing them not in a way where it's like, oh, this person's pretty, and then you got the Black woman, it's like, oh, well, she can do this and she's like strong, but there's no attributes to all the other things we have going for us. So I'm just like grateful for you too, for just like bringing an event like that people can see. Listen, they're out there, and it should, and I'm hoping, as you said, in regards to it not being that, let me just add this person to a show to kind of like, oh, we have that one person. I knew what you meant when you said it, because unfortunately there are the promotions who like they're add like the person who's in the LGBT community, and it's like, okay, there's our check for that box, and then, oh, we have a bigger girl who's a bit agile, let's put check for that box. So I totally understand you when you said that you just want them to be able to shine in all ways and not like this. Would you say with regards to portrayals of women now, would you say it's a better portrayal because we have like social media and we have indie promotions that's usually more lenient of allowing a person or wrestler to be closer linked to their personality rather than this kind of forced gimmick?
Yeah, I think it's cool to see. It's just weird how like social media has, you know, changed this thing into, whether you have to like, be this thing all the time, or like, I think it's kind of weird sometimes when people I don't, it's like one of these weird walls, but I think it's cool. I mean, I feel like you can talk to or get to know the wrestlers, I guess, a little bit better than meeting them like outside of a venue back in the day, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What were your favorite, like, again, wrestling friends, you know, there are things we grew up with. What were your favorite, like, wrestlers growing up, and like storylines or promotions growing up?
Well, my favorite wrestler of all time was Chyna. I thought she was like the coolest thing in the world. And as like, time went on and she left, and I was never really like into the whole like Lita, like Trish Stratus thing. I was always like, Chyna was like my go-to girl because she could beat up the dudes and chicks,
Yeah.
And then as time, I kind of like took a little bit of pause when I was little,
Mm-hmm.
and then what kind of brought me back was I remember watching, I guess like what got me like really coming back was the around the time that the Mickie James and Trish Stratus like thing happened, and I thought that was like so cool that these two girls are fighting, and I would have to. Well, I mean, it's so hard to just choose. But for sure, Chyna is my favorite because I do have a Chyna tattoo. And I would have to say, I don't really have like favorites. I guess you could say ones that helped me. I think what got me like kind of back into the wrestling zone recently was a couple years back. I started watching Effie. and just seeing him do all this stuff and kind of molding like the indie scene,
Yeah.
has been really cool to see. So I would have to probably say like right now, I guess, seeing him like run his own shows and wrestle and kind of create like that persona is really helpful and cool. Oh, this is so hard. I can't man, there's like a lot that's gone from like,
Yeah. No, I hear you. I definitely was a mix of things for wrestling. It was like I did like Lita, but I think my reason was only because she was like, she could jump off stuff, and then it was pretty cool for like to see women like backflip and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. I wish I can do that. And she wasn't really girly, like she was kind of a tomboy. And I'm like, yeah, that was me growing up. Like I liked girly things, but I also just super tomboyish. So like I kind of relate to that. And I did love Chyna because Chyna super was like with regards to kicking guys' asses. And I was like,
yes. Well, I mean, another one that comes to mind, I really love Bull Nakano. I also thought she was like so cool, but I didn't really get to see her. Oh, I mean, now they're all coming through to my mind. They're just like shooting out. Another one is Bertha Faye, just because she's like she's just so adorable. And people tell me I give Bertha Faye vibes, which I'm fine with. I actually liked Bertha Faye compared to Rhonda, but I'm probably one of those rare few. I just remember how colorful she was.
Bertha was pretty cool. She definitely was very colorful. I definitely appreciate that about her too. I'm trying to think how I'm trying to face this question. Would you consider like if you can do something as far as, I don't know if this is like putting too much in like your basket right now, but like if somebody is like, oh, I wanted to do a show similar to yours, would you be like willing to like teach them or like try to have them doing in their own way where it's like they still have the message, but it's their own flair? Because I feel like this is like your flair and this is your thing in regards to, I guess, your personality. So would you like do that, or what would you, I guess, give advice rather? What kind of advice would you give somebody who wants to do something similar with regards to starting up, like having their first show and promoting something very like, powerful as like, this is what my show is at this time?
Well, I guess I'm just the type of person, if I want to do something, I'll just set out to do it. And I don't really think good, I just do it. So, I mean, I don't really know how to say it. It's one of these things where like, I always want to do like so many things at once. And I, don't really know my strengths, but then I accomplish them and I'm like, wow, I did it. That's pretty cool. But if I had to give like people, I would help, I try to help anyone that I can. That's how it should be, it's wrestling. You're supposed to help the other person you're in the ring with. You're not supposed to just let them fail. Then not make you look bad, So yeah, it's like one of these things where I would, I mean, like if anyone would want to talk to me about it, I could give the best advice, I guess I could. Anything that they necessarily need help with, I would try. Can't really like, I don't like to make promises or anything, but and on top, I don't want to like corner this market type thing. I say, if 12 other girls or people want to make a all, woman of color show or just a person of color show, do it. Like, I'm not going to stop you or side eye you. I say do it. We need more of these. I would love to see more. So I say the more the merrier, I guess.
I love that answer. Would you, if you could, like, I guess, work on another event after this event, who would you like to see on the show that it's like, oh, I would love to have that person on my, card?
To be honest, if I did another one, I really love tournaments. I think they're like the coolest thing in the world. They're short, there's to a point, It's like, this is the tournament. This is, everything's just there. Oh man. I really like trying to think here. There's a lot. I mean, like I said, I would really love to book Effie, but if I could choose, I've been watching like Russell Rogue. I saw him on the Cassandra Cup, and I thought he was pretty interesting. Um, there's a few people that unfortunately I couldn't get for this show that I would love to. I don't want to like name drop in case something happens in the future.
Yeah.
But it's hard to think. Ashton Starr is another one that seems interesting. I would like to book.
Mm-hmm.
I would love Sahara the Seventh, I think her name is.
Yeah.
So it's I don't want to like say her name wrong. I'm so sorry if I did. But I love her look, and I when researching for the show, I saw her stuff, and unfortunately I couldn't. I got my card filled before I could reach out to her, but I would love to work with her in the future. I guess that's can't really like necessarily pinpoint like
Yeah.
I'm so bad with like on the fly stuff. My ADHD is not like it's going crazy.
So outside of wrestling, because I like, what do you do, or what are things that interest you that are not wrestling related?
To be honest, well, I have a 2-year-old, so he's preoccupying most of my time. I'm still in school for graphic design.
Oh, nice.
I figured, yeah, if I was gonna get into wrestling, I should also have some kind of degree to help me in that world. And I figured graphic design is one of those things. I've always liked drawing, so might as well get a paper for it. Other than that, I guess I don't know. I like, since living in like New York City, it's kind of crazy. Crazy as in like, I'm from the Midwest, and this is not anything like the Midwest.
So true.
I don't know. I mean, I used to play video games. I don't really do that so much now. It's mostly just like, being a mom, and wrestling is basically the two things that preoccupy my life, which is pretty cool. Wrestling has always just preoccupied my life, but I guess now it's like in a whole other different way. I'm not just watching it. I'm, part of it, which is pretty cool.
Yes. I'm a mom too, so it's pretty awesome. I totally understand. Mines are over that age now, so it's like now it's what is it? I want to say the attitude, like the attitude and the extra personality is like now a whole bunch extra now because they're older. So
yeah.
So I totally understand the 2-year-old phase. That's
man, it's a lot. He's
yeah, and I did it 3 times like a crazy person. So I mean,
I'm one and done. This is it.
Listen, now I'm over it. Next time somebody mentioned, I'm like, let's not put that out there in the universe. Like, I'm good now. They're all at an age now where they can do a lot of the stuff on their own. I don't have to like hover too much anymore, but I don't think I can. I'm like, listen, we're good. Like, I'll get a puppy or something. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm at that point too. I really want a dog. At this point, I'm like, waiting out there for a dog.
Okay, we're gonna do a quick speed round, like type of questions, and then you just answer as quick as you possibly can. Okay, text or talking?
Talking. Even though I just ramble a lot, but I would prefer talking over texting.
Would you last song you downloaded?
Oh shoot. I think it was like that SZA song with Justin Timberlake from the Trolls movie. That's just because my son was watching it and I was like, wow, I really like the song, so I downloaded it.
Listen, that was totally me because of my daughter. Like, she's like obsessed with BTS right now, my youngest daughter, and
Same here. We love.
Yeah, the song is catchy. I was like, you know what? Like, you're driving me insane right now with the obsession, but the song is catchy. So let me just download this really quick on my phone. It's a catchy song. So I'm like, all right, I guess I understand this is payback for all the years I got my mom's nerves with all my obsessions over the years. So it's like payback. Marvel or DC?
Oh, Marvel.
Yes, Marvel girl too. Okay, so in that case, favorite X-Men.
Jubilee.
Yes. Okay. She's like my top 5. I feel like I will definitely Logan because he's so sarcastic and that's me. And I love Storm because she's amazing. But I love Jubilee too because she's like super cute and like got the whole electric thing happening. And I'm like, yes, like she's so underrated. People don't appreciate it.
She was getting on, and I feel bad.
Favorite holiday.
I don't know. Probably 4th of July because it's in the summer. Well, my birthday's on Thanksgiving most of the time. I was born November 24th, so
that's
probably Thanksgiving. Because it's great because my birthday's on Thanksgiving. Usually we have my birthday on Thanksgiving, and then like a month later would be Christmas. So I'd get new toy, like, those 2 times. So I'd have to say Thanksgiving.
That's so you're a Sagittarius. That's super dope. And my birthday's the day before yours, so that's so crazy.
Really?
My birthday's November 23rd.
My boyfriend, he was born November 22nd. So
that is insane. That is crazy. Yeah, my birthday is the 23rd. So sometimes my birthday will also land on Thanksgiving. And I'm like, depending on I feel like as a kid it was okay. As an adult, you're like, okay, I'm mostly there for food. So like fill my tummy up on the day that that's mostly what I might think to my birthday when it's on Thanksgiving, but that's super awesome. That's amazing. I'm sorry. It's totally rambled. totally rambled. Would you prefer how to put this? Like, when it's like a book to a movie. So would you prefer a book or the movie, depending on like the series?
Probably movie. Just because it's shorter and condensed. I cannot pay attention that long, so probably a movie.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, I'm definitely a night owl. Night owl to the T.
Favorite social media platform?
I'm terrible with social media and the fact that I'm just not consistent as I should be. But I think I like Twitter the most because it's just, I don't know, it's kind of easier. And I feel like I don't scroll through it as much compared to Instagram and them. I'm just on there, gotta do what I gotta do, get off. So I'd have to say Twitter.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Twitter is better for certain things. And then like Instagram is better if you're like doing visual stuff. I think it works better on Instagram. And then Facebook is mostly just Facebook, and yeah. Like, I use Facebook because I was one of those people who had it when it first came out, but it's like, okay, as part of me like posting memes now, I don't really use it.
I just keep it I guess because like my main like family members have it, so it's kind of like, and they always want to like send me stuff through it, so it's like, well, I guess I have to keep it, otherwise I would never really be so much on it. So that's mostly why I keep Facebook. Other than that, I probably wouldn't even have it. And when it comes to Instagram, I'm just so bad at posting pictures that I just don't really like. I'll look and heart other people's things, but I will have to like, it's so hard. I tried to do the real thing, and I just don't have the patience to edit and all that stuff. Wow, for like 15 seconds, you have to do like 30 minutes of work. It's crazy.
That's so true. Yeah, editing could be a pain in the butt depending on what it is. You're like, oh my god, this is not working the way I want it to work. So totally get it. Favorite wrestling match of all time?
Ooh. I'd have to pick two. It is probably Bull Nakano versus Aja Kong. I believe the cage match, because they went together, they like fought against each other a lot. And Chyna versus Lita at what was the pay-per-view? I don't think it was Unforgiven. I can't remember what the pay-per-view was. But I remember it was Chyna versus Lita because of Chyna's attire was just beautiful. It was the peacock, the peacock thing that she had.
Yeah.
I can't remember the pay-per-view for the life of me. But those are my two favorite matches of all time. I could watch those over and over and over again.
That's good. That's good. And did you have like a favorite promotion growing up, or is it just like more of a WWE girl?
Well, all I knew was WWF, and then I remember, and then WWE, and then I remember randomly just scrolling through like the channels, and then the Beautiful People were on, and I was like, "What? There's more wrestling?" I didn't even know that there was like indie wrestling until like I was in like middle school, high school, and I saw like Kevin Steen. I just saw this big dude doing a moonsault, and I'm like, what is this? And I was like, there's like other wrestling other than WWE. So,
yeah, I found out about indie wrestling way later than I probably should have. Like, I was a whole adult, and I'm like, why did I not know this existed? And I did watch WWE or WWF, and I knew of WCW, I didn't really like them, and I knew of ECW, I didn't really like them. Of course, like TNA and Ring of Honor, but like the indie wrestling, my friend was like, we're going to a show. And I'm like, what kind of show? She's like, a wrestling show. And then the place was like 20 minutes from where I lived. So I was like, this place been here this whole time. And I was oblivious to this whole time. I could have been seeing wrestling shows and I didn't know. So I was a bit delayed with, indie wrestling. I felt like I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years ago is when I found out like there was wrestling.
But like, Candice LeRae is what really got me into indie wrestling because I thought she was also the coolest. I don't know. I guess girls that just can go against men and dudes kick ass. That's just Candice LeRae. She can just kick ass. Same with Chyna, and I like that.
No, listen, I love a badass woman who could do her thing in the ring. There's a few of them I'm like watching, like I see y'all. Like I'll watch it. Just I love that you guys can make it just as entertaining as if it's like you just fighting another woman. I think it's cool. So is there anything, since I'm gonna try to, I try not to keep people too long because I know people have lives and stuff. So is there anything else you would like to promote or you would like to share with the audience?
I mean, I hope everyone has a chance to witness this show. I hope that everyone has a good time, and it's just something that, not to take very seriously because wrestling is supposed to not be serious.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun. And so that's what I hope to bring into the wrestling world is positive, fun, nothing too stressful, I guess. And yeah, I mean, just buy tickets and support, I guess. Support would be cool. I think that's about it. That's all I can think of.
Okay. Well, first, I want to thank you for coming on my podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do so. As for the audience, I will have every link in the description. So you definitely please go support the show. If you are in the tri-state and can get to Jersey, then get your butts to Jersey, support the show. I plan to be there as well. As soon as I found out, I was like, okay, I know where this is. I can get there. So I was like, if I feel like I don't drive, so I'm like, listen, if I can figure out how to get there, public transportation, I will be there. So I figured out how to get there. So I will be there. So definitely also buy some tickets, support the show. This is her first show. So obviously the support would be great. Please do that. Share on social media. people like to see things. Y'all make some crazy caption that get people's attention and then share the link. That's what we do here, okay? Share, support. And I thank you so much for joining me again so much. And I wish you all the luck with your show and all any future events I'm going to support, because again, I'm all for women doing their things and being awesome doing it. So
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.